Hey, welcome into another Mystery Fifth Hour, presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. She is Emily Grace McWhorter.
Hey guys.
That is Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. We'll be bringing you the Mystery Fifth Hour today. You can hit up McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from. That's trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. Easy to rent, in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. And Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve your rental today. 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. You can catch EG on the Pennant Grace.
Yes.
Braves and Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Now, I don't know when this is going to drop, but you guys did your first live
We did.
edition. How did it go?
It was really fun. I prefer live things in general over pre-recorded. So
As we pre-record
I know, as we
this.
pre-record
This is pre-recorded,
something.
you know.
I guess when it's more talking about like sports / more serious topics, I like live.
Okay.
But more fun stuff, I don't mind pre-recorded.
Well, I mean, you have grown up and you're just in the green stage of your career.
Right.
But you've really grown up doing nothing but live,
yeah,
right?
it's always been.
Yeah.
I did more live spots than pre-recorded.
Outside of sporting events, what do you watch live, though? Everything you watch is on demand.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I only watch sporting events though.
Yeah, I mean, what else is live?
What else?
Political
I mean,
debates.
American Idol? Or is that pre-recorded?
I remember when ER,
Well-
you have no idea what the show ER is. It brought George Clooney to fame, but it was a long-running show. I'll never forget, I was at Da Vinci's over in Homewood when they did ER live. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten all about that till you just mentioned it.
It was
That
like
a big
100 plus
deal.
episodes in, like 10
Yeah.
seasons or
Oh,
whatever.
that's interesting.
And they're like, we're going to do it. It was, Anthony Edwards,
That's a
Noah
good
Wiley.
cast. I mean, that was a good
George
acting
Clooney,
cast.
yeah.
Clooney,
Eric LaSalle,
yeah,
Noah Wiley.
Juliana Margulies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goose from Top Gun, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. That was a good, it was a good acting crew.
But there's just not a lot of live stuff
No.
anymore.
I feel like I only watch sports.
What's an old show you watch? Is there an old show?
Yeah,
like,
Seinfeld.
Oh, so you watch
I watch
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, Friends,
Uh-huh.
Grey's Anatomy. I've watched the early seasons of it, but I don't watch the current.
It's still
happening.
going.
It's still going. It's been since, 2004 maybe? 2003?
I know somebody that still watches it.
After Derek died, I said, I gotta go.
Who's Derek?
Oh,
The main
spoiler
guy.
alert.
Oh, y'all, that has been since like 2012.
Is that McDreamy?
Yeah, McDreamy.
How'd he die? Car crash?
Car crash.
Of course.
Well, and then he ended
Get
up being
more creative.
Yeah.
Let him choke out on a sandwich.
McSteamy died in a plane crash.
Now, which one was on our show? Because he was driving in the Indy.
Derek Shepard.
No.
Patrick Dempsey?
Patrick
yeah,
Dempsey.
that Derek Shepard is
Was
the-
he on the show?
I don't think he was.
But he drove out at Barber,
I think
right?
he was supposed to be on the show when he big time. I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he has a whole motorsports brand.
Right. But he's the one that died in a car accident on the
Yeah,
show?
he was the main
That's
character.
what we call irony.
He would, yeah.
You know what's
there we
amazing?
go.
You won't remember this, but he was a nerd, like growing up in all the movies he did in the 80s.
Yeah,
Like the perception of Patrick Dempsey was nerd, and then he became a heartthrob when it was
with like
Grey's
Maid of
Anatomy.
Honor. You remember that movie?
I do.
I love that
Who's
one.
the female in it?
I can see her face, but I could
It's
not tell you
J-Lo,
her
isn't
name.
it?
No, that's the wedding planner.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Yeah. A big difference. A big difference.
One's a classic, one's not,
Yeah.
Lance.
Yeah. Too bad Dunaway's not here to
I know.
follow up
I
on this.
know,
He would
we
know
could really-
exactly what you guys
You
are
think
talking
you've
about.
seen more rom-coms than Dunaway?
Oh,
Now,
no.
you almost said a quick yes
I
on that
thought-
one.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I feel like he's
Like,
probably
what is
seen
your
more.
top rom-com?
Okay, my top rom-com.
Because, as we record this, we're going into Memorial Day weekend, and like war movies, like I'll have to watch a war movie
yeah.
this
For
weekend.
sure. The Proposal, I love. 27 Dresses, I love. Bride Wars, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Legally Blonde isn't a rom-com, but like that is my movie I put on. I know every
By
line.
far, the best of the movies you just named was Legally Blonde.
Really? You don't like The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds? And,
I would not see
He's
it. Ryan Reynolds
never
is terrible.
seen that. I can tell
love
you,
that
Lance hasn't
movie.
watched that.
But Legally Blonde, they're coming out with another one.
Yeah.
Another Legally Blonde?
Yeah, mhm.
Well, they did too, right?
Yeah, the
I never
Red,
saw the
White,
second
and
one.
Blue.
Is Reese Witherspoon coming back for this
Yeah,
one? So
apparently.
she's going to do the third one?
Yeah, she's going to do the third one. She posted on her TikTok the other day.
But, Elle Woods,
Yeah, Elle Woods.
Ben and Snap.
Yes, the Bend and Snap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie. That's
And I've
why
only seen it one time, and I remember that. But I will tell you, Reese is one of those. She ages well.
she aged tremendously because I feel like she didn't do too much. Like Monica, Courtney Cox, I feel like she does not look at all how she used to look.
Yeah.
And it's not been good for her.
Do you like Reese Witherspoon in the morning show? Do you watch the morning show?
I watched first 2 seasons. I haven't
Did you like
watched
her?
the
Because
most
she
recent.
gets critically acclaimed for her role there, and I'm not saying it's awful, but I'm not over the top.
She
on it.
seems like she would be bratty in real life.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, she seems like that. But I think she's a really good actress. My favorite Reese Witherspoon role is Election. I've said this a million times.
You told me I need to watch that.
You need
I
to
still
watch
haven't
it.
watched
Yeah,
I need to.
watch it on your drive to the beach this
Yeah,
weekend.
I'll do that.
What are your top 5 movies? This is
Top
not the
5
topic. We're about to
movies?
get to the topic,
Okay,
but I'm just curious with EG. She's just a generation.
I'm
You
gonna be
cannot
so
put the
honest.
Notebook in this.
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen the Notebook.
Okay.
Good. Don't.
That's
Don't waste
it's
your time.
Dunaway's seat, not Dunaway's
They
list.
die at the
Okay,
end.
so this is in no particular order.
Okay. These are your top 5 movies.
Top Gun,
The original Top Gun? Okay.
and Top Gun 2.
So both
So
of them
both
are going to
Top
be in your top
Guns.
5? God,
Yeah.
you love that movie.
So
I
are
do
you a
love that
Tom
movie.
Cruise fan?
No, I just am a Top Gun fan.
Okay.
All right.
Get Smart with Steve Carell. I love that movie.
Oh my gosh.
This is amazing so far.
Legally Blonde
2 Top Guns, Get Smart, Legally Blind, and what is the 5th one?
and
Citizen Kane.
no,
Casablanca.
no,
Godfather.
Some Like It Hot.
no. My 5th one that I just absolutely love, probably. Oh, The Devil Wears Prada. Oh my gosh, duh.
Oh my gosh, duh. Lance?
Devil Wears Prada.
Not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Adrian Grenay, the guy that was one of the leads in Entourage, played Vinny Chase.
Yep.
Is the love interest of Anne Hathaway
In
Devil Wears Prada. In one of the first scenes, he's got a retro brand Alabama T-shirt on in New York City.
You know, I think I
And
remember
I've only
that
seen
name.
it one time, and I
That's
remember
such a
that
good
weird,
movie.
Yeah.
weird little thing. Yeah.
Is that Glenn Close?
Nope. Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Okay, weird thing I
She's-
do is confuse Glenn Close and Meryl Streep.
That is weird.
Why do I do that, you think?
I don't know. They're older actresses that have had a lot of success.
I mean,
but
they're both really good.
they are. Yeah, Glenn Close probably underrated. She's been nominated for multiple Academy Awards, and obviously Meryl Streep's been nominated for more Academy Awards
Yeah.
than anyone.
It
Any
seems
actor in
like
history.
Glenn Close has probably taken worse roles. Like, she played the vice president who became president in the Harrison Ford movie, Air Force One. When they think he's dead, she
Oh.
basically takes over as president. I don't know. It's a bad role.
That's
and I
when the
guess that-
country goes tits up.
All right, we're going to ask today on the Mystery Fifth Hour the thing you would go back and do for the first time again. Like the first time you ever did it is just magical in your mind. This is actually Dunaway's topic. He had to leave. This is his topic. He
Okay.
left behind a topic.
So kind. Such a servant's heart. With the
Yeah,
12.
you know Dunaway. He's always looking out for the 12. So this is something you didn't. Mine is going to be super weird, but when he said it, it's the first thing that came to mind. I remember. Do you guys like to whitewater raft?
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
I have never been.
I enjoy it.
I remember back in, I guess I was high school, maybe high school, middle school, going to the Ocoee River up in Tennessee. What are you laughing at?
Was it freezing cold?
I never knew the water was that cold. Like I had seen people whitewater raft, and like I didn't really know a whole lot about it. It
Yeah.
was a church group trip, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'll sign up and go. It's something to do in the summer. I think it was the middle of August, and it was a cloudy, rainy day. I'll never forget this. And we get in the boat, and the guy next to me is my longtime friend Jason Reeves, a guy I grew up with, and we're in the boat together, and I had no idea the water was that cold. I didn't.
chilling.
Yeah, it is chilling. I didn't know how. I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. I don't know what it is.
Did y'all
about
fall out at all?
Well, I never fell out, but you get to a part in the river where you can bail out and just float down the river.
You ever
It's kind
seen
of a smoother
Deliverance?
thing. I've never seen Deliverance.
I was going to say, do you have any inbreds chasing you down?
No, we did not. Not on the Ocoee, but I don't know.
That
what
was
it
outside of Atlanta where they filmed that. By
Oh,
the way.
really?
Yeah.
Was it on the Chattahoochee River?
It was on the Chattahoochee. It's a
Ooh.
great movie, by the way.
I would not get in that Chattahoochee.
You've never
River.
shot the hooch?
Oh, I have. I wouldn't do it again.
Have you? Yeah.
How dirty is it?
It's gross. I mean, just when I drive over it, when I enter Cobb County, it's just kind of like, ugh.
Can't be as bad as the Cahaba, right?
I mean, you live near the Cahaba.
Yeah.
You cross it all the
You
time.
put a
Does it look
foot in there,
worse-
you lose toenails.
Does it look worse than the Chattahoochee?
I
you
mean,
think?
I feel like nowadays, I think back in the day it was a little better, but
Yeah.
I don't.
That's why Alan Jackson can't gain weight. He
Yeah.
spent too much time in it. He's just got parasites ravaging his body.
He sang the definitive
Yeah.
song about it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know why. But I'd go back to that day, man. It was in August. I was like a middle schooler, and we went down the Ocoee River, and it was just magic.
Huh. Okay.
It's a weird one.
No,
Yeah.
but,
In the
but I
middle.
like that because my mind went different.
I don't know why that was the first thing that came out of my mind.
Where did you
either.
go?
Well, truthfully, when Brown gave me this subject, this is a good thing, but I feel like in my short 23 years, I've had some pretty cool experiences.
You have.
So I feel like I when I have that moment, like something else comes along that is like equally as cool. So I don't know.
If Dunaway were here, he would want her to say the minute she walked in the Rose Bowl with me and Dunaway.
Yeah.
For the Alabama-Michigan
I mean, but
game.
that's
he was so awkward. He was like, "You can't say your first kiss with Mike."
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he was like,
you
"No
think I
one's
make
off
that
on
up?
it."
Of course he said that.
But to me, like that is an experience that is so cool that I don't know, like that is like in its own category. And I feel like we'll be there potentially again, but like my experience with y'all will continue to get cooler and cooler.
Oh, so I don't know if we're going to one up.
No,
the Rose
we're not going to
Bowl,
one up that.
EG.
No way. But like in my mind,
right?
I don't know.
Can't say your first kiss with
To
Mikey.
relive it.
Would you go back and relive your first kiss with Mikey if Dunaway didn't take that off the board?
I don't think that would have been my top 5.
Well,
not
poor-
in a bad way, but I just think that.
Poor Mikey.
No, I did it.
No, like that
like
was
mine are all weird too.
like I guess. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so like starting my freshman year in Tuscaloosa, there was just something about. Like I was telling somebody this last night because one of the kids graduated, and I was like, the night I graduated, I didn't have curfew, but I didn't have curfew my senior year of high school. But there was something, liberating about getting out in college, being in a different town around nothing but 18 to 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
And that first, it was the end of the summer going into the fall. Football season was there. There was something really magical about that.
I do remember like my final semester though of high school, like dying for it to be over, and then looking back on it now, I was like, man, we were having a blast. Why was I in such a hurry
Shagging
to get out of
flies,
it?
man.
I mean, yeah, everything was over. You'd already set your GPA. I don't even think that last semester counted.
But I'll tell you, last night graduation, they were like, these are the honor students that had a 4.0 after their first semester of their senior
That's
year.
impressive.
So, like,
No.
I guess you could have just mailed it in.
You
your
could
second
have.
semester.
You absolutely could have. Like
Yeah.
my oldest daughter, she had already been accepted into her college. Everything was set. That last semester meant nothing. Now, she still tried. Gets that from Jennifer, not from me, but she
Yeah.
still tried. But it didn't matter.
Yeah, another one of mine would be, so I go back and watch my favorite television series of all times multiple times.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Sopranos 3 times all the way through. I've seen Game of Thrones all the way through 3 times. Seen Breaking Bad a couple of times all the way through. Like if I could go back, like I envy people. Like you said, you haven't seen the movie Election. I envy people that have seen movies that I love or haven't seen those movies or haven't seen those shows.
That time with books. Like
Okay.
the Harry Potter series, I would totally like reread that in a second.
And
like,
how cool would it be for your first time
yeah,
to
like
be able
to
to
like
do it again?
redo that.
Yeah.
I just read a book that I would love to like restart and do that again. But I feel like, okay, this is a better way to explain it. My moments are like segmented. So like work wise, okay, Roseville top of the list. Walking into Bryant Denny as like a professional for the first time, that was insane. Holding a sideline mic for the first time, it did not go necessarily well, but like that feeling of like, okay, like I've made these milestones. But those are like work related. Outside of that, I would say homecoming for Georgia Southern. I would like totally relive that whole week.
Who was the homecoming queen?
Me.
She was. Okay.
I teed that up for her.
Yeah.
That whole week was so much fun. And very rarely in your life do you have a week where everyone, their job is to campaign for you.
So you would have loved to be royalty, wouldn't you?
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, duh. Did you know you had won homecoming queen before they announced it, like during the game?
No. So the week leading, so in May of my junior year, 85 voted on who the candidate was. So I knew all summer I was gonna be the candidate, and we're planning, and we get a theme, and so the theme was early 2000s. And I don't love the early 2000s, like fashion wise, and like that's just not really like an era that I'm like, oh, that's so fun. So I did
Right.
Barbie. So Barbie, the Georgia Southern girl, we couldn't use Barbie because it was trademarked. And so we planned it all summer. I had my campaign manager, Caitlin, who's now one of my best friends. And that week leading up to it, you have like all of these different events you can get points for. So you can win the week, or you can win queen, or you can win both. So you have to plan everything out to a T, and then your whole little sorority is campaigning for you, and you're like on campus, and you're handing out stickers, all these fun things. And so my nervousness was, you have to make court, and then you find that out on a Friday, and then Saturday is the game. And I was so nervous I wasn't going to make court that I couldn't really get excited yet. But then once I made court, I was like, okay, I feel like I have a pretty good shot. Everyone around me was like, oh, like.
Do you shriek when you make court?
There's a video. I like put my hand like over my over for court. Yeah, like you like clap and you're called up on stage.
So
Very golf
more
clap.
nerve-wracking to make court than actually to win.
Yeah, for sure. And then I knew, my dad said he knew because someone told him. So the people that helped do athletic marketing, and I'd worked with all those people. So most of my coworkers knew on Wednesday
That you had won, but
that
they
I'd
kept the
won.
secret.
Yeah, they kept it secret from me. And
Aw, that's nice,
I
though.
know. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
And so one of like my work friends, his name is Dan, he runs athletic marketing. He had to do the rehearsal with us Friday night. And he knew that I had won when I went out there, but he couldn't say anything to me. So everyone avoided me that week, basically, which I was like, thanks, guys.
Nobody's talking to
really
you, G.
fun week, and no one's really chatting with me. But my dad said that someone told him, so he knew. And then my like Gata Productions, who does like the camera work and stuff, they got tipped off because they wanted the cameras to be on me and my dad. And so I was standing there, and one of the little photographers, I turned around, and he like pointed at me and was like, that's her. And I was like, Dad, like, I have to tell you something after this if this all goes well. And so then I won, and I was like, I think I knew.
Yeah.
And he was like, I already knew.
Yeah, he was like, I already knew.
Yeah.
I had no doubt. And
Well, because that was at a sporting event for me. The first Super Bowl I ever went to was a Rams Super Bowl 34, and they won it. But there is something, and you guys have covered national championship settings, and that's electric. But to me, the biggest championship in the world is the Lombardi Trophy, winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And there's something about that energy. I know it's really corporate now, something about that energy in that building, but seeing your favorite team win their first championship ever, that was incredible. If I could relive that.
And what Super Bowl was that? Was the one in
Super
New
Bowl
Orleans?
34, no, that was Super Bowl 36 was the one in New Orleans.
That's you lost that one.
Yeah. 30, and I was at that one too, but 34 was against Titans.
Oh, that's right, in Atlanta.
Incredible
Atlanta.
game,
Yeah.
And I remember I was drinking natural light the entire time because I didn't want to go seek out Bud Light. Natural Light's in the family anyway. But I thought it was funny because the portal I went out, the first one, they had Natural Light right there. So I would just run and get a beer, commercial break, run back. But I got so excited when Steve McNair comes down, they tie the game, then Kurt Warner goes up top to Isaac Bruce, and they score on that long touchdown. I think it was 74-yarder. And I don't know how I did this, but I had a Rams hat on, and I somehow knocked the beanie off the hat.
no way.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was in the end zone when
Super
Kevin
straight.
Dyson reached out. Mike Jones made the tackle.
Yeah.
But that was just one of those moments, man. It's just
Because I have like so many of like the sports moments, like Ronald Acuna hitting the grand slam against the Dodgers in 2018, and us being there, it was so loud. But then like the Iron Bowl this past year, oh my gosh, I would relive that every day of my life if I could.
You know, I was thinking about this. I'll tell you where I was thinking about this was
the shower.
No, the Garth Brooks concert a couple of summers ago at Protective. Like everybody had their phones out the whole time, and I never did.
Yeah.
I just like absorbed it.
Yeah.
And I think you're the same way too. Like my first inclination is
I
that
never
I got to
pull
get the
the phone
phone.
out.
Yeah, but you think back on that Super Bowl, the internal, like if you could video that moment and went back and watched the video, it's not going to do any more for you than the
No.
actual memory.
No, and I'll
to
tell
me,
you, and I probably will never go to a Super Bowl again. Unfortunately, it's just
you
I've gotten
say
priced
that.
out. But Super Bowl 53 was the most recent one I went to when the Rams lost 13-3
In Atlanta
and,
again,
and
right?
cell phones were very prevalent. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the new stadium. And not that there was a lot of action in that game, but I never pulled my cell phone out at all.
No, I think that, especially for my generation, it takes away. Someone put it in perspective for me. It's like you're at the event, but you're looking at them through your phone, and like
Yeah.
that's insane. Like
Yep.
you are seeing whoever you want to see. You're at this sporting event, but you're living through this.
That's right.
And that's so like who actually goes back and looks at those videos? I know I don't, but I will say like when we got into the press box at the Rose Bowl, like that is a feeling I don't think will ever be able to be replicated. And like it was overwhelming in such an interesting way too. And like seeing like the Sun Belt and the SEC little banner next to each other, that was so cool.
Do you think, and back kind of to that point, like I'll never forget, we went to Atlanta for the entire week back. That was in January of 2000. There was a big freeze. It was when the Ray Lewis Cobalt stabbing, all that kind of thing went down. But I remember one of the biggest things I told my ex-wife Bethany, I was like, you got to make sure the VCR is set for this game.
VCR?
And it's funny because I was digging through, pulling some DVDs out the other night. This makes me really sound old. But there were VHS tapes in my garage over it, and one of them was the 2000 Super Bowl, Rams-Titans, and I have never gone back and watched that.
Well, now you can't. You don't have a VCR.
Yeah, you have to
I mean,
convert it.
I think actually I do have one in my house somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've got one.
That was the biggest pain in the butt, though, having to set the VCR to record
And
something. Like if you were
rewind
out of
it.
town at a game.
Do you even remember that as a little kid?
I remember the Veggie Tales being on the little, but I remember DVDs more.
Yeah.
Like I remember like Blu-ray was like a big deal when it came out.
But DVDs seem really antiquated now, right?
Yeah, DVDs are like
I don't even have a
ancient.
DVD player.
Yeah, I'll never forget, like,
yeah.
one of my first dates with Maddie, she was over, and I was like, I've got this on DVD, and she was like, you've got a DVD player? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a DVD catalog full of like 400
yeah.
movies.
You want to see his collection. It's an incredible
But
DVD collection.
that is such a more efficient way to watch. Like, I don't want to see the ads, and like it's formatted for the screen better than my opinion than like the streaming services. I have the complete 8 Harry Potter film on DVD, but I have nowhere to watch them.
I have never seen a minute of Harry Potter. Have you?
Only because my little one likes it,
Hallie.
and her and EG are best friends.
Yeah.
So they watch them together.
We do.
My 10-year-old and EG.
I've been told that I would like it. I find it
Yes.
hard to believe.
No, it's so good. It is. If it was, I don't want it to be remade by any means, but for the time, like the technology and like CGI and stuff was pretty good. I can't imagine it being made today because it'd be even
But
better.
that's not in your top 5?
Yeah, you left those all out of your top 5.
Yeah, because I love the book so much. Like I couldn't name one of my favorite Harry Potter movies, and I don't know.
Boy, that seems like it'd be a complicated book. A lot of characters.
So good. It's so good. It's amazing to me that one person like thought of that. Like she thought of a whole world.
She had plenty of, think about it. She was living in a car, right?
Oh, I don't know.
J.K. Rowling lived in a car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
She
knew
did.
that.
Oh, well, I guess
She
you
was
have time to
completely
ponder.
broke.
Well, she is what we like to call a multi-billionaire now.
She's still getting those royalties, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she is.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I could read it because much like I've heard Game of Thrones, like I loved watching it. It took a little bit to get acclimated to how many different characters
Yeah.
played into the entire series. But as a writer, it seems like how complicated would it be to be able to write in these different directions and keep all of those
Well,
characters?
So apparently, Order of the Phoenix. I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. It's the longest book in the series, and it's because there was a plot hole that she had to go back and fix.
Ooh.
So she had to like keep writing it. But I didn't start reading them until I was a freshman in high school. So I was super late to the game. Like when it was popular, I was in elementary school, and I told everyone like, "Y'all are nerds for reading that."
Y'all are nerds, and then
Like,
you became the high school
yeah,
nerd.
and then I became the high school nerd, and that's so like humbling.
You say that it's going to be like timeless, like J.R.R. Tolkien
Yeah,
who wrote all the
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So I remember my brother introducing me to that. I never read it, but I
watched
watched like the Xerox animated before it was a movie.
Right.
And I thought it was new. I didn't realize that he wrote those books,
Yeah.
years and years before. So I think, new generations
It'll
will
be Harry Potter.
I remember this is so incredibly random, but years ago, I'm trying to remember the year this was, but Alabama was playing Ohio State
Okay.
in basketball
Oh,
in Springfield, Massachusetts. You remember they used to do the Hall of Fame
game?
Classic, yeah. And Alabama football was playing at Hawaii. So Alabama paid me to fly up to Springfield, me and Chris Stewart, to do the basketball game.
Was that the like rescheduled game when they were on probation? So they decided to send the
Yeah,
team to Hawaii. Yeah.
to Hawaii, yeah.
And was
so
that
the football-
Brody Croyle's first last season, something like that?
Yeah. So the football team was in Hawaii, and me and Chris Stewart are up in Springfield, Massachusetts,
Right.
doing the Bama Ohio State game. And the day of the game, it snowed so much, I was basically trapped in the hotel. And I turned on and started watching the movie channel. HBO was showing Lord of the Rings. And I've got no knowledge of that
Yeah.
whatsoever. But I do remember, like, the CG was incredible for that time. This had to be, like, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Like, their CG stuff was incredible. I was like, man, this is really cool. I don't have the first clue what's going on. But, man, this is well done. So I got sucked into the movie, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on the fly. And I don't even know which order
I
it was
love
in.
those, like the
haven't
animated when I was
watched
a
those.
kid back in the 80s. But I tried to watch the movies. I love Game of Thrones. It doesn't make any sense. I guess that's not violent enough.
What?
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody gets beheaded.
I had a friend that she like loved them, the Lord of the Rings, and basically like she tried to force me to watch them and like read them, and I was so just annoyed at it that like I yet to ever get interested. But I was like out of pure spite, I'm like, I'm not ever going to. Like I left her house one time when she like tried to corner me and put them on. I did. I was like, I'm not.
I'm out.
I'm out. I like, called my mom on their home phone. I was like, come get me.
On the home phone.
Yeah.
Went landline.
You went royal.
All right, that's the Mystery Fifth Hour. If you need a car, van, or truck, rent from McCurry. McCurry Van and Car Rental, local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans, in and out easily. Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman, 2nd Avenue Northwest, Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, 256-559-1003, or McCurryRentals.com. Please give us a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed and set your alerts on YouTube, please do that as well. And follow us on social media at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour.